Okay, now we gotta remove the coil packs, 3 of them. Disconnect this. Set to the side. And there's this one here with the ground, so don't forget to reconnect that. Now you also need to, there's a bracket here. You need to remove that bracket. That bracket is for the engine and transmission dipstick. I believe they are 12 millimeters. Just kinda, actually it's 14 millimeters. also need to remove this bracket, which is at 12. This holds the transmission dipstick. Oops. Alright, kind of push it out of the way a little bit. And then we have one more 14 all the way back here. It's kind of hard to reach, so just take your time. Yeah, for me this is like the most annoying part of the job, just getting the brackets out. Being is there's one bolt for the valve cover that's being hidden by this bracket. It's that one right there. Alright, so that we have all the access that we need, we can start unbolting the valve cover. And for that you're gonna need a 10mm. I believe there are 6 of them. They're not that tight. So to undo them using power tool like this, it should be the fastest way. Okay, so that should be all 6. Next thing is just clearing the way. Move all of this as much as possible. There we go. Almost forgot. There is this hose right here, all the way in the back. This hose right here that goes to the other side, the other valve cover. So we need to disconnect that. And to do that, you just need like a clamp. It's just a vice grip or something, and slide it off, and then it will be easy to pull that. It is, slide it up, and then now you can. There you go. Now it's also a good time to collect all the. Oh, one just fell. All the bolt for the valve cover. 2 of mine just fell. I'll get them later. But for now, this thing is ready to be removed. Make sure all the wiring is clear. Got hooked on the PCV right here, so a lot easier if you have someone else helping you or if you're not recording. There we go. This one side. The other side is actually easier, mainly because you don't have a lot of wire covering it. You do still need to remove this bracket here. It's held by 2 14mm. Sim procedure, there are 6 valve cover bolts that you need to remove. And also don't forget to take out this spark plug cable. Just pull them out from the cap like this, up, and it should come off. So now we're ready to replace the valve cover gasket. Now while you're here, might also be a good idea to replace the 3 gasket for the spark plug tubes. Mine is still in good condition. As you can see, all of the bottom of my coil pack, they're all dry, so there's no oil seeping into the spark plug chamber. So I don't need to replace them, but at this point, this is a good time if you need to replace the gasket. Other than that, the engine actually looks pretty healthy. You know, it looks pretty clean. I always change my oil every 5,000 miles, and I use the Shell Rotella 5W40. I mean, you know, it has 268,000 miles, and you know, I couldn't be happier to see my engine this clean at 268,000 miles. So yeah, just want to show you the inside of the engine, how it looks, you know, at least the head, you know, like what this engine can handle with proper maintenance. So closer look of this gasket. This is the one that failed. I don't know if you can see it, but this trail of oil right here, and it seeps out from this edge. And this is the outer driver's side towards the towards the back. So you know the engine sits kind of tilted, so all the oil seeps out from back here, and it seems like it failed from this point right here. Yeah, and this is the Felpro brand. I've replaced it twice with the same brand. I thought the first time it was improper installation, so I replaced it again. Try to follow it to the T, everything torque to factory spec, and still leak. So after reading from the Facebook group, turns out I'm not the only one who's having this issue with the Felpro gasket. So now I'm going to replace it with the OEM gasket, thanks to Luso Overland, who's providing me with this gasket here. So this technically should provide a much better fit, and we'll see if this will really solve the leaking issue. I really doubt it will leak anymore because this is OEM Mitsubishi, so it should fit the valve cover. So let's go ahead and install it. So to remove the old one, I would just use like a small flathead screwdriver. Just gently pry it from inside the hole right here. This is what I would usually do. Just start it from the thicker end right here, and once it's up, you just peel it all the way. Okay. Yeah, so this is the old one. See how it's still like has some elasticity in it, so it's not that old. Alright, so let's install the OEM one. Just gotta make sure it's in the same direction. So notice that this one here has the groove right here. This is the one that's gonna be mating to the engine surface. So the other side, which is flat, is the one that's going inside the valve cover. So to install it, just do it like so. Sometimes they'll need some kind of persuasion. They're not the exact shape of the valve cover, so maybe it's easier to start from the bottom going up, but ideally they should sit inside the groove on the valve cover like so. There we go. So now we're going to install our valve cover back. Just want to make sure a lot of this stuff are out of the way. Can't really do anything with this two fuel lines here. Don't really want to disconnect the fuel line. I don't think it's necessary. But we'll do with what we have here. The new gasket is not folded or something, and all the bolt holes are aligned. There So the next step here is actually very crucial in installing this valve cover back in. The service manual calls 30 inch-pound for every single one of these 6 bolts. So oftentimes people over tighten it, and it that will cause the valve cover to bend, because this right here is really thin metal. Doesn't need a lot of force to tighten this. So let's just install this bolt, and I'll use the torque wrench, the baby one, just to get all 6 to spec. But for now, we'll just hand tight the 6 bolts. Sheesh. They sure don't make it easy. But I'd rather work on this and rather than the newer cars that they have today. Oops, I moved a little bit. One all the way back here. Okay, so now let's tighten them. Just okay. Okay. All right. So now we're gonna use our torque wrench here and make sure that the setting is 30 inch-pound. Okay. This valve cover bolts are not. They don't need to be very tight. But I just wanna. Some people say, "Oh, just hand tighten them," but no. Like I wanna make sure it's up to the factory spec. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna tighten them from the middle, bottom, top, and then the edges. I'm gonna run several passes just to make sure that all 6 of them have equal pressure on the gasket. Because sometimes when you tighten the middle first and you tighten this side and then you go to the other side, sometimes the middle one might get loose again. So it's good to have the torque wrench set at 30 inch-pound, and just keep checking them as you work. Might take a while, but I'd rather be safe than have it leak again. So alright, let's go ahead. Okay, that's already 30. Wow, that is very, very light. I've done this like a couple times. I'm still amazed at how light this valve cover bolts are. Like you need to really slow down it so that you can feel your torque wrench clicking. It's really at low setting. Yep, there you go. 30. And the most annoying one. Hold it back here. Oop, there you go. Click. That's 30. Okay, now we're working on the front one. This one's very loose. Okay, here we go. There we go. That's 30. Okay, that's 30. Now we're gonna redo all 6 of them again. Starting from this one. Yeah, still loose. Loose. There you go. 30. There you go. Click. Put it back in here. Click. Up. Oops. And then we're gonna go across to the front one. Click. Click. That one. Okay, let's run. Click. Last pass, last pass. Oops. Click. 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 Okay. All right. So that's how you install the valve cover. Again, very very important to get the bolts torqued properly. 30-inch-pound all around. Like what I just did. I just did 3 passes all around just to make sure that they're all the same. So hopefully this helps. Post comment down below if you have any question. Other than that, happy wrenching, and hopefully this will solve your oil leak. Now we're gonna put the coil pack back together again. Thankfully I made a habit of numbering it, so number 1 goes to the first one, 3 and 5. So Should make your life easier when you do this. So what you do is just line up the old hole, so it goes like this. And next one. Last one, all the way in the back. Okay. Then you just bolt the coil pack back to the bracket. 6 bolts. I know there's a torque spec for this, but since this is only pretty much holding the coil pack from moving around, I'm just gonna make sure that it's tight. Now on this one here, remember there's this ground wire here from the wiring loom, so you make sure not to forget this one. It goes with the coil pack number 3, or second one from the front. And the last one. There we go. Right. Tight. Now just plug the coil pack back in. Make sure it clicks. Very, very important. That click. There you go. All right. So now we'll be moving on to the other side.